Everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I am continuing my story of how I bought a house as a single mom. And in this video it will be more detailed as to what I did specifically as far as how I paid off debt and what I did and didn't do. How I came to where I am right now is absorbing as much financial tips and advice because it works. And going back to me watching Dave Ramsey, or it was on while I was getting ready, is that one of the things they were talking about was goals with intention. And without intention, your goals will never come into fruition. More than just setting the goal and doing the steps, it's the intention. Like what are your intentions as far as your goals? Is your intention to get out of debt? Is your intention to buy a home? Is your intention to retire early? And I think it's important to, find the goal and set your intentions. Now with me, a planner was just the easiest way to really write down the goals and intentions of what I wanted to do. So this isn't my planner. This is just like a notebook. I write down like my ideas for YouTube. So I want to be organized while I talk about what I did specifically. And I just kind of just said the first thing was setting the intention of buying a home. Now, what comes after that is the steps or the work that it takes, along with the goal and intention of what you're trying to do. And so, one of the first things, I like the term group economics that's been going around with these financial videos. The term group economics is a thing, and meaning you live with someone or a group of people. My situation was moving back home with family to pay little to no rent. Now, if you watch my first video, I was living with my ex, my child's father, and of course we split the bills, we split the rent. And now my parents, they're pretty well off. They don't really need me to pay anything to live. They're doing just fine without me and my brother. My brother still lives at home. So it was 5 of us with my son. And of course, out of respect, in that I'm bringing not only myself back home, but a child, and I make money. It's not like I'm broke. I was making, okay money. It's obviously I'm gonna put money towards living there or bills. And so the cost of living, whether it's rent or mortgage, that's the biggest expense. Once you lower that cost to little to nothing, then that's huge when it comes to the intention of buying a home. Now, you have people that come on here that say, oh, rent is a waste of money, might as well buy. No, rent is not a waste of money. It's you need to pay somewhere to live. Now, where it gets kind of, trickier or messed up is that you don't have to spend all of your money on rent. That's key. You should be humble if you're trying to save money, pay off debt, or buy, to lower that amount, your rent, or wherever you're staying, so you can save money. I humbled myself to move back home at the age of 30 with a child. Who wants to say that? I didn't, but I'm gonna be smart because I knew it was gonna be temporary. At the time, I didn't know how long it will take me to save to move out, or let alone buy a house, let alone to move out. I wasn't thinking about that right in the beginning. I just needed somewhere to stay. And thank God I had my parents to go back home to save oodles amount of money. It's less stressful, and it allowed me to be in this home today. Okay, that's just it. Now, for the people that are like, well, I don't have family that lives nearby, or a family that will take me in, or my family would make me pay a lot of money. You can rent a room. I have a friend, she's a single mom of a young son. Our kids are like a year apart. So I get it. I counted my blessings every day with having supportive family. The person I'm talking about unfortunately doesn't. But you know what she did? You know, she makes a less income than I do or did. She rented a room and she shared a room with her son. She rented a room in a house. Now, if you have young kids under 5, you guys can share a room. My son was in my room half the time anyways, sleeping with me because he, you know, he's little and sometimes he couldn't sleep at night. Again, humble yourself. They don't need a room if they're less than 5 just yet. So yeah, I had my parents. Yes, I'm very fortunate and privileged in that way. But if I didn't, I'll rent a room. Either we would share one bed or I would have like a little twin bed or something in the same room just to separate. Again, it's called humbling yourself and saving as much money as possible to either rent a room. Okay, next thing I did was paying off my debt. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video, but I didn't have a car note. I've had the same car for 8 years. The car is 10 years old, a 2012 Hyundai. I like my car. I do. Do I want a new one? Yes. I am ready for an SUV. Now with these gas prices, I don't know. But I eventually want a new car. And I could have got myself a new car living at home, easily afford a car payment 2-3 times over. But you know what I wanted more than a new car? A house. So I've been in the same car for 8 years with no car payment, and that saved me a bunch of money because, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I have, you know, I do the proper maintenance on that car. It has almost 200K miles. It has a new engine, so I should be fine in the near future. And I'll be prepared to pay a car payment or try to pay cash for another car. But not having a car note, again, being humble, getting a used car and not getting a brand new ass car, like for what? Like anything after like 2012 or 2013, 15, they have all the bells and whistles. Like as long as I have Bluetooth and, you know, automatic things and, you know, not the leather seats, but like that, you know, smooth material, because I don't like carpet seats. Like that's all you really need, you know? Like just, if you don't need a new car, just ride it till the wheels fall off. That's what I did. What do you want more? To move out, to buy a house, or a $30,000 to $40,000 car? For what? Next is separating my accounts. And I have a credit union through my job, and it's, you know, good savings. I mean, you don't really get that much, you know, interest, but it's fine. Good where a good place to park your money, and I called it my moving out fund. And it was open before I started this process, but I wasn't going to attach a large savings to my checking slash savings with my main big Wells Fargo, because it's too easy to move money. Like, no, savings is savings. Savings should not be 2 checkings. Like, we're not moving money back and forth between accounts. Like, no. So because I would have to to pull money, I would have to go to a whole different bank. My accounts weren't linked, and either have to leave my debit card or the ATM card at home, so I wouldn't like get the urge to, you know, pull some cash out. Okay, I did, but I would try to pay myself back. Like, okay, like with this video, I'm not perfect, And looking back, I could have saved a lot more than I did, honestly. That's here nor there. I'm still where I'm at, thankfully. But you know, these are the things that I did, and it worked out in the end. Back to my point, get a separate account, put all of your money, all of your savings of what your goal or intention is, and that will help out tremendously. And I loved how I called it my moving out fund. I like it. I think it's good to name it, so it just, you know, puts it out there, you know. Again, intention, that money is intended to move out, okay? So get separate accounts. Another thing I did is I really upped my 401k / Roth IRA accounts. I had extra money living at home, so I upped my percentage. And I didn't share this in the last video, but I did use some of my retirement account for my down payment. Do I recommend this? No, but it is there? Yes. And again, I just said a minute ago that I should have more cash savings than I did towards the end, but you know, things happen. Shouldn't have lent out money. I should have paid myself back when I dipped into the moving out fund. So because I upped my contributions, I was able to take out some of the money to move out. So the advantage of these accounts, the Roth 401k and the 401k, is that it's pre-tax and after tax. And so when I withdrew, because a loophole with these accounts is that when you completely withdraw, there's like a stipulation, and one of them is buying a home. And I think, like, you know, you were fired or quit or something, I think is a loophole to completely withdraw, because you're really not supposed to, or they don't want you to. So back to what I was saying as far as the Roth 401k and the 401k, I contributed about 15% or more, actually, because I have a pension. So like 2% to pension and like 8% for each 401k and Roth 401k, and that really helped. And also the market was a lot better. I was actually making money, but it's okay. I will always contribute. The thing is with investment accounts on Vanguard especially, it's easy to like play with your contributions. Like, you know, for a month or two you can have it at a certain percent and then always change it. And since I was saving all the money, I upped it. So there's that as an option. But again, that's what I did. If you have to, you can, but because again, that's what I did, but I don't really recommend it, but it's there. It's for your retirement. And you know, like, because I pulled from it, I'm playing catch up. It wasn't a loan. I did the withdrawal, and you know, withdraw, that money is gone. So just think about it and try to save like cash, pretty much, because you don't want to pull any. Just try to save cash for your down payment, because you don't want to owe or, you know, play catch up when it comes to any investment accounts. My next thing I did or didn't do was Lavish Vacations. I talked about this in the last video. I did go out of town or on vacations, but it wasn't like anything lavish. I did do like weekend trips or long, either by myself or with my son, but nothing too far, all within California. Thank God I live in California for some reasons, because there's a lot to do here. I didn't have to travel too far to go anywhere fun, all within like a 2 or 3 hour radius. The only time I went anywhere far on a plane was when I went to Washington, D.C. to visit a friend as a solo trip, but that hardly cost me anything. I only paid for the plane ticket. I stayed with her, and her husband were, and they were good hosts and friends, and so I didn't have to pay for anything for that trip, so it was pretty good. I didn't have to spend that much money.
Hey.
Okay, don't touch! So obviously when you have goals or intentions, you have to do certain things for those to happen. So when you're spending hundreds of thousands, well, not hundreds of thousands, but a few hundred to thousands of dollars on a lavish vacation, when it's like that money can go towards, you know, a down payment or, you know, moving out expenses, future furniture, whatever. So it's not that I don't enjoy traveling. I'm a true Sagittarius. I love to travel. And my thing that I wanted to do first was have my own place because living at home or my living situation was going to be temporary. And if I was doing things that cost a lot of money, i.e. vacations or spending it on material things, it's gonna push me back as far as doing what I need to do to save and accomplish that. So not that you can't do these things, but it's like you just, you know, you gotta pick and choose and feel like, does this align with what I'm trying to do? Okay, and the last thing is really paying attention to what I spend, so budgeting. There's 1,000,001 budgeting videos, and there's 1,000,001 budgeting videos out there. And what's worked for me is, you know, paying yourself first, saving. When I get paid, money automatically goes into my retirement accounts, like I mentioned before, the 401k and the Roth and pension. And then another automated amount goes to my cash savings, like the moving out fund, like I said, to my credit union or to a separate bank. And then I have a little savings that went to like my savings with my bank or linked to my checking, like my Wells Fargo accounts. And the rest I had to budget what was left. And what's really good is to budget to zero, because you're assigning your money to go to different things, like a certain amount to food, certain amount to bills, and so on and so forth. And it just works. Your money should be designated to certain things, and it should be at zero, because if there's money left over, you're gonna wanna spend it on unnecessary stuff. And that's not to say that you can't budget or put money aside for material things or going out, entertainment, vacation, etc. You just gotta put it away somewhere. Now I'm still working on this, and even back then it was, I don't know, sometimes I couldn't figure it out as far as budgeting correctly, because, you know, I would get the spreadsheets. I have a video on here of how I budget, because I had the little Excel, well, not an Excel sheet, but like a cute chart. I think I got the free printable from like Budget Queen. It says, you know, your expenses and your savings and your goals or whatever, you know, like a chart. And I would write down. I was pretty good at writing down everything I spent, and I hardly used cash, so it was pretty easy to track. All I had to do was go on my Wells Fargo app and see what I spent money on. And it was it's kind of depressing, like seeing how much money just goes without even you doing anything. Like, things are so expensive. Like an automated bill came out, a subscription. You went shopping and you thought, oh, $20 here, $15 there. That shit adds up. What I learned to do recently through a recent YouTube video I watched was to just add another account. I have Cash App. Just, you know, I didn't think much of it than to just, you know, when you send friend's money or whatever, right? Like, I got a Cash App card. It's pretty cute. You can design it. Mine's white. Well, it's more like silver in the person. And I put like little emojis or whatever. Or I put little designs on it. And you know, Cash App, it's like super, you know, it's simple and sleek, and it's pretty easy. You just upload money, you load money onto it instantly. So with getting this Cash App card has really allowed me to separate money that I'm going to spend on groceries and gas or just any kind of spending money separate from my bank card. It's like, this is genius. Like, have different cards, not credit cards, because in the beginning of the video, like, you don't want any debt, especially when you're trying to buy a home. Like, I didn't add any credit cards. I only have one credit card. So it tricks your mind into thinking that, you know, you have all this money, but not really, because it's like the same money, just, you know, divided up. So with this Cash App card has allowed me to have more money in my checking account, because you can't pay a lot of bills on credit. If you were to pay, a lot of people pay bills on credit cards, but some you can't, like your mortgage. I can't use my credit card if, you know, I'm low or whatever, or you know, if you finance furniture or appliances, you can't pay credit with credit. It's gonna come out, it has to come out of a checking account. So what was messing me up, especially after I moved with all these bills, is that I had so much coming out of my checking account, and so that was making me overdraft. So getting a Cash card or a Cash App card really helps with spending and saving at the same time. So have different accounts, they have their jobs, and that will really help you save money. So I hope the tips that I mentioned in this video are helpful. The main things being budgeting, saving cash, no debt, and not spending large amounts of money on vacations or material things. And these tips are good for not only saving to buy a home, but to move out. Also, with the time that we are in, it is currently May of 2022, and things are like not good. We all know what's going on in hyperinflation. Things are going up at the gas pump and in grocery stores, and literally everything has gone up in price. So if anything, just be mindful of how you spend your money. Like, it hasn't even been 6 months since I moved or bought a home, and things have changed so much as far as going to the store, and again with, you know, gas prices. I'm paying more than what I used to, literally months, like not even that long ago. I'm paying a significant more to where I'm noticing, and it sucks, and I hope it gets better in time, but you never know what things are going to happen. Still live life and still do what you want, but just be extra mindful these days. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.